I'm joined now by Parker Thompson, who will race the number 12 Lexus GT3 for Vassar Sullivan Racing in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship this weekend at CTMP in the GTD class. An Alberta native yourself, what are you most looking forward to about racing at home in the Chevy GP?
Well, finally, we get to come back north. It's always circled on the calendar. It's great to see the Canadian fans. They are, I've always said this, and I might be biased, but they're usually looking like they have the most fun, some of the most knowledgeable fans out there. They know every car, every model. They know every driver by name, which is pretty rare. On occasion, we don't get called out by name. Maybe that's because I'm wearing red and white, but at the same time, very excited to get home.
You enter the weekend looking for your first WeatherTech Sports Car Championship win at CTMP, where you finished fifth in your only prior start last year. Have raced in the support series there as well. What are your goals and expectations for this weekend?
Well, the expectation is to win. You've got myself and Jack Hawksworth in a car in GTD, so that's a pretty stout lineup. Man, we finished second. I don't know how many times this year. It's too many to count. And Watkins Glen was the one that got away from us. Led pretty much dominated the entire race, and then we had that last lap that we don't talk about. So I think we're due for it, and I think this will be the first time. Well, last year and then this year is the first time Vassar Sullivan has had a Canadian in the car. Our Lexus RCF is very fast at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, but for whatever reason, we've just never capitalized on it. I think they only have one podium in the last 5 or 6 years. So we're looking to make that change. I think now that they've got some red and white in the car, we should be able to put it on the top step. So that is the goal.
As you alluded to, three runner-up finishes so far this season, looking for your first win of the year, but currently third in the GTD standings. How would you sum up your season so far?
Well, I think the season has been to date a championship year. Obviously, you want to win races, but at the same time, really what wins the big trophy at the end of the year is consistency. And there's not been another team that's been more consistent than us, minus what happened a couple weeks ago at Watkins Glen. So um, I think we've got everything it takes. I've always said to win a championship, you've got to come on that halfway to three-quarter way in the championship is when you have to be fired on all cylinders. So we've still got a little time to get fired up, but we're sitting third. We're definitely within striking distance. I mean, 80 plus points in IMSA is almost nothing. That's a few positions. So I've got some pretty high hopes, but you also like to not think too far ahead. You just want to stay focused race by race. So I'll be feeling a lot better about the championship after we try and go win this race coming up.
You mentioned as well racing with Jack Hawksworth as the co-driver, and the interesting thing is for both of you, you come from that open wheel racing background. So what has it been like working together with a fellow driver, making that switch to sports cars in the last few years as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, we were both cut from the same cloth that way. Jack, obviously, he made it all the way to IndyCar. I was on the road to IndyCar, never quite got there, but we both got that background. We've got fast hands and fast feet from Formula cars, which I think helps out. That's a lot of success that Vassar Sullivan has been in hiring former Formula car guys. Obviously, Vassar being half of that, coming from that world, he knows it really well, and he knows that some of those IndyCar dropouts are probably the best race car drivers you could get behind the wheel of a sports car. So it's been pretty easy with Jack. All he wants to do is win races, and that's all I want to do too. Really, there's nothing else to it for teammates. You just both want to win, so you both work hard towards it, and that's about it.
With the IMSA WeatherTech series, you get to race, travel around to some big name, prestigious US tracks like Daytona, Long Beach as well. But it's also a series where there are several Canadian drivers and Canadian teams involved. So, what does it mean to you to be part of that Canadian contingent and have so many fellow Canucks in the paddock with you at any given race?
Oh, it's awesome for not. We're obviously a large country by land, but by population, we're pretty small compared to most other countries across Europe and most countries, obviously below us being the U.S. So to see so many of us doing so many good things, you've got DeAngelis obviously in prototypes. You've got Morad, which he's bouncing between GTD and between Michelin Pilot. You got Robert Wickens, who's doing an awesome job. I know he calls himself a rookie in GTD, but he is no rookie. I'm sure he'll be fast, and I'm sure they'll have those GM products turned up at home, being that it's the Chevrolet Grand Prix. So across the board, you've got a ton of Canadians doing awesome stuff. Faf, obviously, I know they transitioned to the Lamborghini, but they seem to be doing well. So it's cool to see. Obviously, I don't get as home as much now as I used to. I live down in the States. I live in Mooresville, North Carolina, to focus on my job with Vassar Sullivan. But I still feel proud to see all the Canadians across motorsports doing well in every division.
And you've had now this experience, like you mentioned, coming home every now and again, and you've sort of experienced it all as far as these big events in July. You've been part of the IMSA at CTMP now for a few years. You've also been in the Road to Indy in those series on the streets of Toronto, as well as the Porsche Carrera Cup North America when they raced in Toronto, a series where you won the 2022 championship. How would you compare those various experiences of racing here at home?
It's really the same. I mean, obviously, you've got the Canadian fans that are friendly, and usually they're having a good time. But you have to say, most racetracks across the U.S., you look at racing fans, and they're there to have a good time, have a few beverages, and watch race cars go around and see who comes out on top. So I wouldn't say it's super different. It's weird going home, right? Where you have to pack a passport and you have to pack everything. I know for the teams, they always love having to get all their equipment across the border. We always hear about that. But apart from that, it's another racetrack. It's I'll be biased. It's friendly people at a racetrack, and they're knowledgeable and they're ready to watch some good old fashioned racing. So I think the biggest thing that separates IMSA, just being the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, that's probably the most unique track that we go to. I mean, you've got one low speed corner there and five. Everything else is you're barely touching the brakes in the Lexus RCF, as you probably are with most GT cars. So super high speed and super commitment, a good old fashioned track, which is unfortunately we don't see many of those these days. So as long as we can keep CTMP on the calendar, I am all for it.
Yeah, definitely a fun one and one that a lot of visiting drivers always allude to as being one of their favorites. So definitely a good stop for sure. Parker Thompson, a racer in the GTD class of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. Thank you for speaking with me and good luck this weekend.
No problem at all, Bryce. And thank you to all the Inside Track listeners. Looking forward to meeting you at CTMP.